Back on Capitol Hill, support is building to give more control over tariffs back to Congress. And joining us right now to talk about it is Congressman Josh Gottheimer. He is a Democrat from New Jersey. Also, Congressman Don Bacon, who's a Republican from Nebraska. Yesterday, they introduced bipartisan legislation in the House. It's called the Trade Review Act. It's the companion bill to legislation that was introduced by Senators Maria Cantwell and Chuck Grassley last week. Gentlemen, welcome to both of you. We're watching this very closely. Thank you for coming. I think, Congressman Bacon, you are particularly in the hot seat on this as a Republican who is defying the president over what he wants to get done. Why are you doing this? Why are you signing on?
First and foremost, the Constitution gives Congress the power of tariffs and taxing in Article 1, and I think we should reclaim that. I don't think the founders wanted a single person to make a decision and change all of our tariff policy and wage a tariff war against 60 nations without congressional approval. So I think it's, first of all, it's constitutional. And two, I have concerns. I think it's a very high risk move by the president when you have a trade war with 60 countries. We don't have a good experience with this. I mean, the last time we've done something like this was 1930. That did not turn out well. I'm not anti-tariff across the board. I think China and others deserve to have tariffs the way they treat us with our trade and our exports. But I don't really think a trade war with the world is a smart way forward.
Here are some comments from President Trump last night. This is what he's saying about it. He says, I see some rebel Republican, some guy who wants to grandstand, say, I think that Congress should take over negotiations. Let me tell you, you don't negotiate like I negotiate. Oh, that's what I need. I need some guy telling me how to negotiate. What is the pressure you have received from the administration to this point, and what is the likelihood that some of your Republican lawmakers will go along and sign off with you on this?
Well, we have some already. And like you say, it's a companion bill to Chuck or Senator Grassley. It's an identical bill. So this is it's not. I'm not just the only guy out here. There's a handful of, I think, very prominent Republicans in the Senate that agree to this. And I'm not trying to tell the president how to negotiate, but he has to come to Congress and request approval when he wants to do tariffs. And I think a lot of Congress will support tariffs on China. They would support tariffs on Russia, which was not on the tariff list this time, which they should have been. But we're not anti-tariffs in all situations. But we should have a vote. James Madison wrote this, that Congress should be the approval authority for taxes and tariffs. I mean, we have the power of the purse, and we gave the president emergency powers. But this is not emergency powers. This is resetting tariff policy, and that's really in the realm of Congress. So I stand with a handful of Republicans in the House. We'll get more on probably today or tomorrow. We have 7 Republicans in the Senate. And Senator Grassley is a very good conservative, respected by Republicans and Democrats alike. And I think I'm on solid ground here.
Congressman Gottheimer, what are you hearing from your colleagues, and what do you hope to accomplish with this?
Obviously, Don Bacon may be in the frying pan a little bit more than me, but I'll tell you this. The American people are really in the frying pan because I've been home in diners everywhere talking to folks, and they're panicked, right? You're talking about this global trade war. It's one thing to go after China, our number one adversary. It's a whole thing to go across the board to 60 countries and literally go after the American people's, their savings, and they're watching their retirement savings crumble, and they're seeing prices go up already. Right, so you're seeing people panic about both things. They're already getting crushed, and our job should be to get costs down, get taxes down. They thought that's what they were getting with this administration. If anything, this global trade war is sending prices way up and sending the retirement savings way down. So what I'm hearing from not just Democrats, but from Republicans too, is you can't just come in here and do what you want. You got to come to the Congress, and that's what our bill does. Come to the Congress and ask for, as the Constitution affords, ask for approval for each one of these tariffs, because this is just chaos, and it's causing huge impacts on our economy.
Congressman Bacon, we've been watching every development in the markets, and it is amazing to see. It's possible that the negotiations with, the 100 trading partners, every time that looks like it's going to go forward, the market seems to recover. But then once again, we're faced with China. And today, China's going to 84%. We've been retaliating. So it sounds like both of you say you're okay with tariffs against China, but not with everyone else. We may settle with everyone else. They may make deals. China's still going to be the elephant in the room, and it's going to be very disruptive. And what we're seeing in the markets might not be fixed, Congressman Bacon. So I'm not sure that, that China's not the looming threat that's causing all this angst.
We could have done this one-on-one with China, not necessarily go after all of EU. Israel has zero tariffs.
We may end up there with deals with everybody else, but I don't see it happening with China. So I don't know.
Well, I hope it turns out all right, but it's a high risk. It's a high risk operation what we're doing right now.
And Joe, you're already seeing some of our key allies, who we've also imposed these tariffs on, say that they're going to be talking to China, and that would be a huge loss for us, right? I mean, so you don't want this global trade war against our adversaries. And yes, the market, right, is S&P down nearly 20%. So it's hugely disruptive, not just to the market, but to our whole global relationships and our economy. And to do this all at once without a strategy, with more chaos, causing tax increases, tariff tax increases on our families, and hitting our seniors like this who are trying to retire. I mean, this is not a strategy, and what we're, I think, asking for is a smart, strategic approach, not just an across-the-board hit, and come to the Congress and actually make your case, as we're supposed to in the Constitution, to prove these things.
In regards to China, if I may add, I'm from Nebraska. We export beef, pork, corn, and soybeans. I got to tell you, China is a terrible partner to work with. We'll have beef halfway to their ports, then they'll change their mind, or the beef gets to the ports, they won't unload them, and they've been very hard to work with, and I think we should play hardball with them. They buy our businesses, steal the technology, and so there needs to be a reckoning with China. But I share Josh's view. Taking on 60 countries at once, it creates chaos. The last time the Republican Party has stood for tariffs like we are right now was 1930. That did not turn out well, and that was our policy prior to the 30s. But we learned that free trade ultimately is the best way to go. It's got to be fair. But free trade is the ultimate goal, because you get better products at a better price, and you get it to the customer more effectively. Right. Free trade works.
And they didn't hire Donald Trump. I don't think people who voted for Donald Trump asked for higher taxes in a recession, right? And that's where he's sending us if we keep going down this path.
Congressman Bacon, my question to you is, your Republican colleagues, both in the House and the Senate, what would it take for them, really? What would it take in the stock market? What would it take in the public to actually truly step up and tell the president, you're not doing this, we're doing this, and to effectively take it away from him?
Well, there's initially, people want to give the president a chance on his agenda. By the way, I think most people voted for President Trump because of the border. They didn't like inflation. Crime was an issue. I think Afghanistan was there. Like Josh is saying, I don't think they were envisioning a trade war, even though the president did talk about tariffs. But I don't think that's what motivated the election results. Right now, you got 7 Republicans in the Senate that are on board. I have 3 right now on the House side, but I have about 10 others that want to talk to the trade representative before they make a decision. But we could end up with 10 to 15 in a week or so. Who knows?
What do you need
I don't think this is going to move.
How many do you need to override his veto that he has already said that he will bring on the?
Well, you have to have 66% total. But I don't think this is prime time yet. We have it here. It's going to become prime time in a month or 2 months if the current economic environment's going the same direction. I think there'll be more pressure to challenge this if we don't see an improvement, whether it's in the market or if we see an increase in inflation. So this isn't prime time yet, but it could be in a month or two. And I think we're in the right position constitutionally. And we will likely grow support in a month or two if things don't turn around.